Jen from Lunar Spirit Wellbeing here, and I'm joined today with Elodie. She's kindly come to share her experiences with eating disorders and mental health. So, hello,
Hi.
how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Good. Thank you so much for being brave and speaking up and coming on and sharing your journey with us
Mm.
to raise awareness and stop the stigma around eating
Mm.
disorders and mental
Mm.
health. So I'm excited to hear your journey. So over to you.
Okay, so there is, as Jen's already mentioned, there's a lot of stigma towards both mental health and eating disorders. They probably go hand in hand. I've been from one extreme to another, so I have been diagnosed with bulimia, probably around the age of 18. That's all to do with, I think, what is it? Family rejection, kind of. I have members of my family that didn't want to be part of my life. So, or they were very in, out in my life, so not consistent. So obviously that created in my head mental issues about me and about my body, about who I was as a person. So, so that's that. And so obviously, I had to do a lot of work to overcome it. I've gained a lot of weight, lost a lot of weight, and that's basically, So that is the journey that I've been on. And my saying is that you have to eat to survive. So yes, I do have an issue with food. I always will, but I'm careful. And that's basically in a nutshell. That's
Okay,
really.
so when did you first notice, or when did you realize that you had a I don't know, it's a problem, but yeah, something wasn't right around your eating?
Probably around 17, 16. So when I went to college, I knew that I could see a pattern. So it took a while. It took until I went to uni for it to be diagnosed. But I think me and my mum, we were very much aware that there was a pattern, and it was an unhealthy pattern. And it takes a while to get medical experts to actually listen to you as well. Like they brush you under the carpet. They're like, no, you haven't got anything wrong with you. You're just going through whatever issues. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So that's
Okay. So can you describe the feelings that you had then? How were you feeling at the time?
So the feelings that I had at the time was in a very low place, a very dark place. So I guess at the time I just felt a bit lost. I just felt like, why does my dad not want to be in my life? I just had a lot of questions about it. We've been in contact, we've lost contact, and recently I've had to completely wipe him, completely disengage, because I'm through with it. I have a 2-year-old, and my 2-year-old doesn't need the mental, emotional blackmail that I've been through. He doesn't need to see that. Because we have a system where me and my dad, we fall out and then we make up, and then we're good for 5 years and then we fall out again. And I said to my husband at the last time we fell out, I said 5 years time, my son's going to be 6, he's going to know what's going on. So I said, no, it's finishing, and it's finishing now.
Okay. So that's a real kind of unstable relationship then that you have
with
your
father. Completely unstable. It's never been stable. It's not been stable since my dad walked out when I was 5. He's got memories that he likes to tell me, but he's been very flippy in my life. He's not been consistent. If that makes sense. He's not really been 100% there for me. He's just not been a great dad.
So just explain to me then briefly what is bulimia.
Okay, so bulimia. So bulimia is where you eat and eat and eat too much, and then you do actually make yourself sick. That is what I used to do, and I used to do it quite regularly, and yeah, I'm not proud of it. And for me to be talking to you about it today, Jen, it's huge for me to be talking to you today, because I see it as a bit of a stigma, and it's a very dark secret that I keep. Not a lot of people know that I've been through it. I mean, I'm not even sure my husband realises the extent, but it's absolutely fine, because sometimes it's good to open up and talk about things.
You're going to be a shining light for other people to accept and acknowledge that they need help, and you're going to be a shining light for them to in their recovery. And there's nothing to be ashamed of at all. You know, we all handle our emotions and our situations in different ways. I use drugs and alcohol, you know, where you're using to control what it is. We don't have control, and we're trying to gain back that control by using substances, or we're using food because we feel we're unworthy, and we're bringing up all these,
and we're not worthy. Yeah,
exactly. And it's completely, absolutely nothing to be ashamed of whatsoever. And you're doing an amazing, brave thing by speaking up. That in itself is by just acknowledging your own journey, accepting your own journey, and then having the bravery to speak up to other people. You know, that's a good thing. That's brave. You know, not many people will. So you need to like acknowledge that and really kind of feel good about yourself for this.
I know. I do. Yeah. I do. I've already had one of my friends, I think, who was actually in contact with you, I think, about postnatal depression. And I don't know whether you're talking to her as well, but she's like, where can I get hold of this video? Where can I see this interview? And I said to her, if I get hold of it, I'll ping it over to you, and I'm sure you'll find it somewhere. So she's like desperate, because she's so proud of me for coming out and talking about it. She's like, oh my God, I need to listen to this. I need to make people aware of this. So yeah.
What was it like then? What is it like living with bulimia? Because you need to eat food every day. Like you kind of brought that to my attention just before we came on to this recording. I said, well, you know, people with substance abuse, they can stop doing that because they don't need it to live, but we need food to live. And you brought that to my attention. So I was like, that's kind of sparked something in my mind. It's like, okay, so what is it like then living with bulimia?
It's horrible. It's really harsh, really horrible, because you eat until you're throwing up, kind of thing. And for me, it was cruel. There's some of my darker years, obviously. So yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Luckily, I had a good network of support at home. I wasn't living at home at the time. I was 3 hours away at uni. Luckily, I had a good network of support. I had a really good friend at uni. So luckily, I got through it. So yeah.
So what steps did you take then to on your road to recovery?
So on my road to recovery, I did a lot of CBT. So cognitive behaviour therapy. I mixed it. I did between two places. So I did some at the Priory, which is in Ticehurst, because that's where my parents are based. Mm-hmm. So when I was home, I'd be doing it there, and when I was at uni, I was doing it up near uni. So there was years and years and years of CBT, and unfortunately, I'm probably at a stage right now in my life where in the next couple of months, I may be going back to do some more CBT work. That's on a completely different issue. So it's on a completely different issue, but I just need to fine-tune a couple of things. So yeah, so I did a lot of CBT. I was never made to feel like rubbish by my therapists. So really, the key is that if you know you're struggling with an eating disorder, you need to push for help. You really do, because you can't defeat it on your own. You absolutely can't work back on your own.
This has been a strong theme throughout all the recordings that I've done, and it's something that I do believe in strongly, that we don't have to do this alone, and you don't need to, and you can't do it alone.
No, you can't.
You need that support from either a professional body or a coach or a therapist. And do you find that owning it and speaking to your family about it, that it then allows more space for your healing?
Obviously my mum's a bit too close to the source of the issues, because obviously that's with my biological dad, so it's my mum's ex-husband. So for her, my mum was hurting as much as what I was hurting. Me and my mum, we're in a very good place now, and we do talk about my issues around my biological father, definitely. We still talk about him, even though I don't see him, because he's still a part of our lives. He's still a part of her past, and he's part of me. So that's and it's taken us a while to get to a place where we can talk about him. So yeah, but yeah, I guess opening up to people, it makes it easier. People then know how to react to you, and how to help.
So did you find it then, speaking to a professional, a lot more helpful than?
I definitely speak to a professional was a lot more helpful than friends and family, because often the thing is with friends and family, although they want to support you, they have your back, they don't always have the tools to be able to help you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Because
sometimes we don't realise what we actually need, and we don't know what we don't know. So, and having that somebody who's a professional who understands the illness can give you those tools then that are going to help you with your recovery. So what other tools do you use? Do you use any spiritual practices, or
so I've done quite a lot. I've obviously done CBT. I've done hypnotherapy.
Yeah, did you find that helped?
It didn't really work for me at the time. The one that's probably most recent that did help with a few issues was actually something called havening. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't. No.
So it is a type of hypnotherapy.
Okay.
Talk about your issues, and you kind of have to brush your arms and release those issues.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So you kind of count to 10, and then you open your eyes and you can't remember your issues. So that, I did a bit of havening, not about my eating, but I've done it more recently. So I did that maybe 3-4 years ago, and that helped with those issues. So yeah, there's been a lot of, to get to where I am today, I've had a lot of therapy, let's say, on and off throughout the years. And I'm not ashamed to say that I've been various times for therapy. I mean, I used to not want to talk about it, because I used to think, people are really going to judge me. And then I'm like, no, because it's my life, and I'm trying to go through therapies to make myself better, and it's no one else's business. Why?
So it's that fear of being judged, isn't it? That all of us have sometimes. We have that fear of what other people will think, and the fear of being judged and misunderstood as well, I think. is a massive thing. There's the misunderstanding, and if we don't know what we don't know, so it's get education around this. I'm not really that familiar with eating disorders, so this is like quite an eye-opener, so I'm really grateful for you sharing your story with me.
Yeah, fine.
So what is it like now compared to what it was then?
Okay, so now completely normal. I eat normal portion sizes. I eat normal food. Can go out to a restaurant and eat a normal meal, and I know that I'm not going to make myself sick. So
so you've come really far then in your recovery.
I have come
That's
so
amazing.
far. I have come so far in my recovery. I cannot remember the last time that I made myself sick. I don't think my husband can actually say he's ever seen me do it. So yeah.
That's amazing. Well done. Like, congratulations that you've got through the worst of it. You've got through that difficult time, and you're able now to have a good relationship with food. So what advice would you give to somebody who is going through similar to what you've been through, or have got an early diagnosis of bulimia or anorexia or an eating disorder, or having that relationship problem with food, and maybe they need to talk to somebody about it? What advice would you give to somebody?
Definitely seek medical help. Seek treatment as early as you can. Do not try and do it alone, because you can't do it alone. You can't. It's too much. It's too much of an issue to try and tackle an eating disorder without any help.
Yeah. I think that's really good. That's some really good advice there, is that you don't have to do this alone.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Find a confidant, find someone you can trust, seek medical help, and get some support. Find some people that know what you're going through, and that you don't have to kind of explain yourself to. They just get it. That's what I found in my recovery. It's finding your tribe, I call it.
Finding your tribe, or finding some girlfriends that just will sit and listen to what you've been through, and they'll be like, yeah, I've got you. I get it. Yeah.
Oh. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story. All right, well, I hope to keep connected to you, and we'll speak again soon. Thank you so much.
Bye.